Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
Trick-or-treaters have taken over Court Street. Good evening, I'm Michaela Marshall.
And I'm Justin Holbrook. Thanks for joining us. The Athens Uptown Business Association Trick-or-Treat on Court Street is happening now. WOUB's Ann Jacob is on Court Street. What's going on out there, Ann?
Kids are having a great time out here. Families have been here since 4 p.m. That's when the city of Athens closed down Court Street for trick-or-treating. AUAB has been hosting trick-or-treating here for many years, and now for most families, it's just tradition. Now, I've seen a lot of great costumes out here, from Grim Reapers to superheroes to princesses, but I think I have the cutest costume here with me right now. This is my friend Connor. Connor, how are you? Good. All right, Connor, can you tell me how old you are?
Connor, how old you are?
2. He's actually 3, but that's okay. And Connor, what is your costume?
What are you?
A cow. A cow. Do you want to show the camera? He even has a little bell. Can you wave to the camera? And Connor, what is your favorite Halloween candy?
Gum.
The gum. You heard it right here. The best Halloween candy is the gum. Connor, thank you very much. Say bye.
Bye.
Reporting live from Court Street for WOUB News, I'm Ann Jacob.
Thanks a lot, Ann. Looks like a lot of fun out there. And police kept busy on Saturday as well during the annual Halloween block party, but arrests were down slightly from last year. As of 3 a.m. on Sunday, a total of 64 people were arrested between Friday and Saturday, according to a release by the city. Arrests were made by members of the Athens Police Department, the Ohio University Police Department, and the Ohio Department of Public Safety's Investigative Unit. Athens County Emergency Medical Services responded to 37 calls and transported 26 people to Ohio Health O'Bleness Memorial Hospital.
94th District Ohio House Republican candidate Jay Edwards outspent Democratic candidate Sarah Grace to prep for the general election. According to campaign finance reports, Edwards spent more than Grace by $4,500 with campaign activity through October 19th. The city of Athens is considering adding at least 2 electric vehicles to its fleet of vehicles in the coming years. Mayor Steve Patterson said the new vehicles would be used for parking enforcement tasks. The vehicle the city is examining is a smaller, cheaper electric vehicle, with Patterson estimating a cost around $14,000. Ohio University currently has several Leaf and Chevrolet Volts in its fleet, as well as charging stations at 5 locations on campus.
Good evening and welcome to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Adriana Davies, and on this beautiful Saturday we had this weekend at Halloween block party here, we had a high pressure system mixed with a warm front that brought warmer temperatures for us, and then we had a cold front that rolled through last night, bringing that precipitation with it, cooler temperatures for today. But as for right now in Athens, we're looking at 57 degrees under partly cloudy skies. And around the region, we're seeing 60 down in Ironton as our region low, 55 up in Newark and Cambridge. And over into our night lows for our region, we'll see 56 as a regional warm down in Ironton, 45 up in Cambridge, quite the difference for our area, 49 in Athens, New Lexington, and Marietta with partly cloudy skies around the region. Overnight, hour by hour, we're looking at 11 p.m., 54 degrees, 3 a.m. 51, and then by 7 a.m. we'll see 49. And now over to our anchors.
Hillary Clinton is campaigning in Ohio today. She urged young people at Kent State University to vote and also held a rally along the Ohio River in Cincinnati. President Barack Obama is coming back to Ohio tomorrow to lead a Get Out the Vote rally in Columbus.
And while the campaigning in Ohio continues, some people are being arrested for taking Trump signs out of yards. Meg Shaw has a story.
Yard after yard, Trump Pence signs littering the front lawns of several homes in the city of Willowick. But lately, those signs are going missing. On Sunday, around 1 in the morning, police caught 3 women throwing something into this dumpster just off of East 305th Street in a busy plaza. Inside that dumpster, 4 Trump signs. The driver charged with trespassing and littering. Her 2 passengers also hit with a trespassing charge. Then, just a day before that, Willowick police say they helped arrest 21-year-old Mark Ortiz. They say Ortiz was riding in a Penske truck, hopped out and stole a Trump sign out of this front yard on Lakeshore Boulevard and took off. An Eastlake woman saw the entire thing, followed the truck, and called police. Ortiz was eventually arrested and charged with theft. In Willowick, Meg Shaw, News 5.
Stealing a campaign sign could be considered infringing on free speech rights, and the theft arrest may include jail time and a hefty fine up to $1,000 in some cases.
A former Ohio trooper is facing rape charges. Adam Foster has been indicted on 2 counts of rape. Foster used to serve at the Swanton Post of the Ohio State Highway Patrol. He's accused of raping a female trooper. The alleged rape came to light while investigators were looking into a claim that Foster unlawfully restrained another female trooper. Ohio's public safety director fired Foster after his indictment. No date has been set for his arraignment. And Hillary Clinton's email scandal is far from over. We'll tell you about the new batch of files found on Anthony Weiner's computer.
And questions continue to swirl around the Pulse shooting. The latest on the 911 calls made from the shooter when Newswatch returns.
University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
Friday nights are all about high school football, but when the games are over and the helmets come off, it's time for some gridiron glory. I'm your host, Danny Dean, back under center. Don't miss a play this season. Join myself and the rest of our team on Friday nights at 11:30 on WOUB and catch us again on Saturday mornings at 11:30. We are committed to bringing you the stories of players, coaches, and communities, and of course, we can't forget about some highlights. We all know there's nothing better than Friday nights and gridiron glory.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Hillary Clinton's email scandal is back in the headlines in the home stretch to the election. FBI Director James Comey told Congress on Friday that the Bureau has located another batch of emails that may pertain to the investigation of Clinton's private server. And now, some Democrats are saying that disclosure may have broken the law. Scott McKean has this report from Washington.
This is the single biggest scandal since Watergate.
Donald Trump this weekend fanning the flames of controversy once again over Hillary Clinton's private email server. The Justice Department securing a warrant to start searching a computer believed to contain emails of top Clinton aide Huma Abedin. The computer was seized as part of an investigation into sexting allegations against Abedin's estranged husband, Anthony Weiner. Law enforcement officials say the FBI stumbled on the emails weeks ago, but Director James Comey didn't disclose the discovery until Friday after a series of meetings inside the FBI. The timing just days before the election, raising questions about Comey's decision to inform Congress about reviewing the emails. Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid saying Sunday that Comey may have violated the Hatch Act, which bars political activity by federal officials. Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta criticizing Comey's decision.
To throw this in the middle of the campaign, 11 days out, just seemed to break with precedent and be inappropriate at this stage. If they're not significant, they're not significant.
Clinton herself expressing concern.
It's not just strange. It's unprecedented, and it is deeply troubling.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Both the Trump and Clinton campaigns are calling on Director Comey to release more information on what the FBI found, but that's an unlikely prospect with Election Day now just 8 days away. A new CNN poll of polls shows the Democratic nominee with 47% of support from likely voters. Hillary Clinton holds an average 5-point lead in the race for president. Republican nominee Donald Trump gets 42%. The numbers come from an average of 5 of the most recently released national polls. Of those, the ABC Washington Post survey shows only a slim 46 to 45% edge for Clinton. The poll asked voters if their vote might change given the FBI's new investigation of emails possibly tied to Clinton's private server. More than 6 in 10 voters said it would make no difference.
The 911 calls from the Pulse nightclub gunman will be released. A Florida judge made that ruling this morning in Orlando. City officials had argued the calls should be exempt from public records law. Omar Mateen opened fire in the nightclub in the early morning hours of June 12th, killing 49 people. It was the worst mass shooting in modern U.S. history. 2/3 of the emergency calls from that night have already been made public. The City of Orlando will post the latest round of calls on its website. And on Wall Street today, U.S. stocks fluctuated as a drop in oil prices and election uncertainty weighed on the minds of investors. Here's a look at stocks of local interest.
Books. We'll tell you how teachers made their return into a sweet surprise. That story's still ahead.
And we're looking at a big warm up into our week and then a little bit of a cool down after we see some rain later on. Will cooler weather be here? We will answer that question and more up next in my extended forecast.
Professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Friday nights are all about high school football, but when the games are over and the helmets come off, it's time for some gridiron glory. I'm your host, Danny Dean, back under center. Don't miss a play this season. Join myself and the rest of our team on Friday nights at 11:30 on WOUB and catch us again on Saturday mornings at 11:30. We are committed to bringing you the stories of players, coaches, and communities, and of course, we can't forget about some highlights. We all know there's nothing better than Friday nights and gridiron glory.
Today was the first day of school since Hurricane Matthew for some students in North Carolina. As Robert Richardson reports, some people made sure school started on a sweet note.
Boxes and boxes of candy arrived at Robeson County Schools Sunday afternoon, donated from people in Charlotte.
I think anytime you can give kids treats, it's always a good thing.
Superintendent Tommy Lowry and school board member Dwayne Smith say it's all about lifting morale. They delivered the goodie bags to principals who are ready to see their students.
I miss them. I've been worried about them, and I'm ready to just give them a hug and make sure they're okay. It's a little emotional.
Matthew wiped out most of October. Tanglewood principal Joanna Hunt says she's eager to start filling in Halloween and November on the calendar at the main entrance. Some teachers chalked welcome back notes outside the front door Saturday, and on Friday, Tanglewood hosted teachers from West Lumberton Elementary. It's the one campus that will remain closed.
And we brought them here and we ate together in the cafeteria, and it was really a very special time to bond that school and just to hug them and love on them and cry with them. So we're glad we did that.
Parents tell me they're eager for their children to go back, but not just to get them out of the home.
A lot of concerns. I just wonder how they're going to do when it comes time for the end of semester, taking their semester test.
And some students who lost their homes and are having to stay elsewhere will have to start attending other schools.
He wanted to go back to Knuckles, but we're way out there in the country, so there's no way of commuting him back and forward.
But teachers tell me they'll do what they can to help students adjust.
The school has not yet released any information about makeup days. Now let's go over to Adriana Davies with the weather.
Good evening and welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Adriana Davies. And right now in Athens, we're looking at 57 degrees. 57 degrees in Athens under partly cloudy skies with winds from the east at 3 miles an hour. And now, right now around our region in Athens, we're looking at 60 down in Ironton, 57 in Athens, like I said, 59 over in Jackson and in Ripley, and 55 up in Cambridge and Newark as our regional low. Our almanac for today, we were right around average. We definitely weren't this weekend. We saw those beautiful warm temperatures for Block Party here at Ohio University, but we dropped back down around normal after a cold front rolled through. 62 today, where our 60 today, where the normal was right around 62, so we're a little bit below average actually. And our precipcast for tonight, it'll stay relatively dry for our area. We're looking at the red line that's going to move through, that's a warm front. So we'll see that roll through tomorrow, bringing us our way above average temperatures. We're going to see temperatures going up into the upper 70s for our Tuesday and Wednesday. So that'll be a wonderful last minute summer tease, I guess you could, before our fall temperatures do come back. Tonight we'll see relatively fall-like weather, 49 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. So our low for tonight is way above average. Our average was right around 38, I would say, for this time of the year, and we're going to see around 49. That's due to that warm front that we'll see pass through, mixed with a low pressure system. Our overnight lows, we're looking at 56 down in Ironton. That's our regional high. We'll see 45 up in Cambridge with partly cloudy skies around the region. Overnight, hour by hour, 54 in Athens at 11 p.m., 51 by 3 a.m., and then by 7 a.m. we're looking at our overnight low at 49 degrees, again with partly cloudy skies. Our bus stop tomorrow morning, it'll be pretty chilly. Definitely need to grab a jacket, and partly cloudy skies for that as well. Tomorrow in Athens, 79 degrees, unseasonably warm definitely for this time of the year. Around the region, 82 down in Ironton, definitely way warmer than we will ever see. And then into our day planner, 77 as our high by 4 p.m. But our 7-day outlook, as you can see, that rain will move through when we see that cold front pass, but that'll bring all of our temperatures back down to around normal for this time of the year. Definitely will have that summer tease tomorrow, so you're definitely not going to need to grab a jacket for classes or on your way to work. But as we move into the rest of the week, you're definitely going to need to bundle up back for fall. So now over to you, Michaela.
Thank you, Adriana. A university in California has thrown a Halloween bash for children with hearing impairments. As Joe Khalil reports, Saturday's party was a big hit.
The water with the pumpkins, you want to go do it again? Okay.
Unlike most kids, it isn't always easy for young Bailey Kyles Jensen and his family to enjoy big festivals. He's completely deaf. His brother Logan is hard of hearing.
There are a lot of families that really struggle to find something like this.
But Saturday, the boys came here. The Halloween Harvest Carnival, hosted by William Jessup University in Rockland, put on entirely for kids with hearing impairments. The boys' dad, Sean, says events like these are rare, but they go a long way towards both of his sons' development.
It's something that really helps us not only get to know, as I said, the community, but also understand our own boys, and it allows our boys to express themselves.
Most carnivals, deaf and hard of hearing, do not have access to be able to communicate directly with the people that are running the booth.
Here, though, all the games are run by students or volunteers who study American Sign Language. Decked out in costume, the kids won prizes, did crafts, had their faces painted, and all the entertainment focuses on visuals.
So everything was definitely geared towards their learning style and their abilities.
But perhaps the best part.
They all had a lot of fun. They were all excited they got candy.
And if fun was the aim, much like Logan's shooting, the event was a hit on all targets. Definitely worth a high five.
That party was the first of its kind organized by William Jessup University, but organizers are hoping to continue the event next year. And now over to Taylor Nimmo for sports.
Hey everybody, I'm Taylor Nimmo. The Indians had a chance to end the World Series last night in Game 5, but the Cubs kept the series alive with a 3-2 win. A recap of Game 5 and more coming up next on Newswatch. Stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Friday nights are all about high school football, but when the games are over and the helmets come off, it's time for some gridiron glory. I'm your host, Danny Dean, back under center. Don't miss a play this season. Join myself and the rest of our team on Friday nights at 11:30 on WOUB and catch us again on Saturday mornings at 11:30. We are committed to bringing you the stories of players, coaches, and communities, and of course, we can't forget about some highlights. We all know there's nothing better than Friday nights and gridiron glory.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Welcome back. I'm Taylor Nimmo. In volleyball, the Bobcats defeated the Akron Zips on the road this past Saturday with a 3-1 victory. Allie Lake and Mallory Salas both had 14 kills. OU was slow out of the gate, losing their first set 25-18, but won their next 3 sets to earn their 13th win of the season and 9th win in the conference, as Akron drops to a record of 7-17. The Bobcats will play at home in the Convo November 4th to face the rival Miami Redhawks. After Ohio University cross-country team finished 4th as a team at the Conference Championship 8K this Saturday, seniors Alex Wynn and Michael McKean were named to the 2016 All-MAC second team. Wynn and McKean finished 8th and 12th place respectively out of 77 runners as they helped as Ohio improved from their 5th place finish last year, where Wynn also led the Bobcats. Wynn and McKean led the way as they earned a team score of 98 points. OU travels to Madison, Wisconsin to take on the NCAA Great Lakes Regional on November 11th. The Cleveland Indians and the Chicago Cubs met in Game 5 of the World Series last night at Wrigley Field. Going into Game 5, the Indians were sitting at 3-1, and a win last night would have given them the World Series title. However, that is not what happened. The Chicago Cubs kept their hope alive with a 3-2 win over the Indians. The Indians jumped out to a quick lead on a Jose Ramirez second-inning homer, but the Cubs rallied back with 3 runs in the 4th to take the lead, from which the Indians would not return from. The Cubs are hoping to be the first team since 1985 to overcome a 3-1 deficit in the World Series. The two teams will battle it out in Game 6 tomorrow at 8 o'clock in Cleveland. The Indians in Game 6 are not the only sporting event hosted in Cleveland tomorrow. The Cavs also play the Houston Rockets tomorrow night. If you are a die-hard Cleveland fan worried about having to miss either LeBron James' take on the Houston Rockets or the Indians' attempt at clinching the World Series, fear no more. The Cleveland Cavaliers will now be tipping off at 6 o'clock, allowing fans to watch the majority of both games. The Cavs are still currently 3-0 and hoping to keep that win streak rolling into tomorrow's game. When it comes to Cleveland sports, they seem to have plenty of excitement lately with the Cavs winning the championship and now the Indians in the World Series. However, the Cleveland Browns are setting a record too. The Cleveland Browns are now sitting at a record of 0-8 for the first time in 41 years after their loss to the New York Jets on Sunday. The game was a tale of two halves as the first half was dominated by the Cleveland Browns, ending the first half up 20-7. In the second half, the game totally flipped. The Jets opened up the half with a long drive that ended in a Quincy Enunwa touchdown that gave them the momentum they were looking for, which they ran with and ended up with a 31-28 win over Cleveland. The Browns will play Dallas at home on Sunday and hope to grab their first win of the season. The Cincinnati Bengals went on the road all the way to London this past weekend to face the Washington Redskins. After 4 quarters and overtime, the game ended in a 27-27 tie. Dustin Hopkins could have wrapped it up for the Redskins with a 34-yard field goal deep into overtime, but it went wide. The Bengals then had their chance, but Andy Dalton fumbled the ball on 3rd and 1 when the game had reached sudden death. The Bengals now are sitting at 3-4-1 and will have some time to rest up this weekend as it is their bye week. I'm Taylor Nimmo, and that's it for sports. Back to you, Justin.
Thanks, Taylor. Art museums in Chicago and Cleveland are having some fun with the Cubs-Indians World Series. The Art Institute of Chicago posted photos on Facebook of some of their most well-known pieces with some slight Cubs-inspired alterations. Then they called on Cleveland Museum of Art to get in on it. The museum responded on its Facebook page, posting some pictures of Indians-inspired paintings of their own. The Indians lead the series 3-2, and Game 6 takes place tomorrow at 7:30 at Progressive Field in Cleveland. And now let's go to Adriana for one last look at weather.
Good evening, I'm Adriana Davies, and tonight in Athens, we're looking at 49 degrees as our low. That's way above average for this time of the year, under mostly cloudy skies with winds from the east at 0 to 5 miles an hour. Tomorrow in Athens, again, way above average. 79 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and into the rest of the week, we'll see that cold front move through and bring our temperatures back to seasonable. Over to you, anchors.
Thanks, Adriana. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Justin Holbrook.
And I'm Michaela Marshall. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
Friday nights are all about high school football, but when the games are over and the helmets come off, it's time for some gridiron glory. I'm your host, Danny Dean, back under center. Don't miss a play this season. Join myself and the rest of our team on Friday nights at 11:30 on WOUB and catch us again on Saturday mornings at 11:30. We are committed to bringing you the stories of players, coaches, and communities, and of course, we can't forget about some highlights. We all know there's nothing better than Friday nights and gridiron glory.